My teachings are based on my experiences, my raw, candid, authentic truth. Anyone can learn from what I've learned. This is me, my story, my methods, my healing, my overcoming. Thank you for stopping by.
Two concepts that are inseparable, that if one exists, the other has to exist, and that is blessings and lessons. A lot of times we want the blessing, but we don't want the lesson. Or we complain about the lesson and don't realize the blessing in it. Anytime we're going through a hard time, we're going through things that making us feel like we're losing or like we're struggling or like things are not working out in our favor, those lessons are blessings. They teach you patience. They give you virtue. They teach you how to get through the situation in a better, more graceful way. They teach you what to do next time. They give you wisdom. They give you insight, and they give you strength. There is so much to be learned and to be taken from and to be realized when we go through a hard time. Sometimes those hard times are self-invoked, but sometimes God allows us to go through those situations, one, to increase our faith, two, to increase our prayer life, three, to increase the fact that we know that, hey, I went through this hard time, but I got through it. I went through this rough time, but I got through it. So guess what? I know that getting to the other side is possible. How do I know? Because I lived it. The more you live, the more you go through hard times, but you make it to the other side, the more you know that winning is possible. Winning is for you, that you were designed to win. And the more you win, you learn, hey, I'm not going to fear. I'm not going to doubt. I'm not going to get sad. I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to get upset or discouraged that I'm in this situation. I'm going to stand firm on the fact that I know, guess what? Last time I went through a hard time, I made it through. And the same God that pulled me through before is the same God that will pull me through today. The same God that showed up and showed out on my behalf. The same God who may not come when I want him, but he's always on time. The same God who taught me. The same God who covered and protected me is the same God today that can do all those same things. And it's just the fact of knowing. The quicker that you know, the quicker that that faith sets in, the quicker that your redemption comes, the quicker that that turnaround comes. And it's easier to go through something where you have the confidence of knowing this gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. I'm not even gonna give it no negative energy. I ain't even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna go through it. I'm just gonna get to the other side. I'm just gonna go through it in silence and hold on to my peace. Hold on to my great feeling. Hold on to how I felt, because a lot of times you'll be smooth sailing. Everything is going good. You're feeling good. Things are working out your way, and then boom, something happens that you didn't expect or that you didn't want to happen, and then all of a sudden what happens? You're up here and you go down here. When you've mastered your peace, when you've mastered knowing the God that you serve, you stay up here no matter what. And that's the test. Until we learn how to stay up here no matter what, and until we learn that our faith shall not faint nor get weary, because we know the God we serve is going to carry us through, and not only through, but above all the things that try to bring us down. That's when we know, okay, I have that faith. My faith is not in a situation. My faith is not in me. My faith is not in my ability. My faith is in the God that I serve. He has never left nor forsaken me. He said in his word that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, that everything that happens for my good, that he will never leave nor forsake me. So everything that I know that God has allowed, he has always brought me through it. If I felt like I was losing, if I felt like, I couldn't pay a bill, if I felt like, guess what? I ain't never not paid my rent. I never went hungry. He's always been a provider. He's always been a healer. He's always been a way maker. So once you get your level of faith to that point where you know, regardless of what the situation looks like, no matter what it seems like the outcome is going to be, I'm going to keep my faith high. I'm going to keep my belief high. I'm going to go through this without letting my faith, my energy, my focus waver. Because a lot of times things will happen and we'll just get discouraged, we'll get distracted, and what we were called to do, what we should be doing, what we could be doing to add light to not only our lives, but to those connected to us, we fall away from those things. We get distracted, we get deterred, and now the light that we would have been using to increase our light or to increase others is getting diminished simply because we got distracted, simply because we got discouraged. We have to remember, listen, no distraction, no discouragement can keep us away from who God called us to be or what God has called us to do. We have to stay on the assignment. It seems hard, it seems frustrating, but when we know, you know what? Every time I run into a hard time, I'm not going to call it a hard time. I'm not going to call it an obstacle. I'm not going to call it bad luck. I'm going to call it a lesson. And what do I know without a shadow of a doubt? That every lesson is connected to a blessing. Now I can shout. Now I can praise. Now I can get excited ahead of time. Say, oh, I'm going through a hard time because my blessing is coming. I'm going through a dark time because my blessing is coming. I'm going through this difficult time because my blessing is coming, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that these two things are connected. And anytime you're going through a blessing, see, a lot of times when we keep getting what we want, we don't stop and humble ourselves and begin to pray and thank God and realize, you know what, it's not on my account that I received these things, but it's on account of God who loved and favored me and allowed me to have these things. And so with the blessings that we receive, we also learn lessons. We learn how to be a good steward over the blessing. We learn how to bless others. We learn how to take that blessing in and be thankful. We learn how to give honor from where that blessing came from. There's lessons in the blessings and blessings in the lessons. So we have to remember, anytime that we're being blessed or anytime that we feel like we're just having this hard time, those two things do work together, and all things work together for your good. Have a great day.
Want to read about my transformation journey and find out how you too can overcome any obstacle? Visit Amazon right now to purchase my book, What is Too Much? How to Do Too Much the Right Way.